Especially not to mention, man, one thing that you didn't mention is when it comes to the later on in the season, man, them Chicago winners, they ain't pretty, bro.
They
They
not.
ain't pretty. They are not pretty.
Snowy days up in there, but
Yeah, yeah.
snowy days are not good for quarterbacks, but they definitely are good for running backs. So let's get into the running back combo,
Mm.
P. You know what I'm saying? Let's
Yeah,
get into
yeah.
this running back combo. And obviously, consensus is high across the board on a lot of running backs, but I want to talk about a guy that maybe the consensus isn't as high on that you do have higher than normal. So talk to me about a player that you're higher on than most of the consensus, please.
Yeah, man. At the running back position, extremely high on this dude. I mean, he didn't do nothing last year outside of tie the league leading in rushing touchdowns. That's all he did, bruh. I'm talking about Raheem Morris. My man, yo, my dog is getting
Say that
written
one more
off.
time, Raheem
I'm
Morris.
talking about Raheem Morris.
Raheem who?
Mostert. I'm talking about Raheem Mostert. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
You see, he even got me messing up, man. I'm talking about Raheem Mostert, bruh. Right now, going as the RB25. Fantasy Pros got him going at you can get him around the 74th pick. At RB25, and that's crazy, man. A lot of people are hating on Raheem Mostert primarily because his age. Because it ain't because of his talent. You know, my man is blazing fast and just most recently has proven that he can hold and withstand a workload, primarily working up the middle. So one thing about him is he's 32. That's gonna be scaring a lot of people off. One thing that people don't realize is the fact that you see 32 at a running back position, you're like, damn, he's hella old. He didn't start really getting his workload cooking until he was 28. So, and even one of those years he was hurt. So he really only has 3 years as being really like a solidified having a solidified RB workload. So you can tell that they still trust him because they extended him another 2 years, right? So not only has Mike McDaniels trusted him based off of how they used to work together in Frisco, as you know, Mike McDaniels was there when he ran all over Green Bay in the playoffs. So he's like, yo, this guy's coming with me. So, they got young running backs over there in A-Chain that have, pretty high upside or really flashy. But what A-Chain, his biggest downfall is the fact that he can't stay healthy. That's why I think it's a huge thing that they extended him because they trust him. But for him going at RB25, if you're waiting on running backs in your draft, you go wide receiver heavy. You take care of your tight end early. He's somebody that if you have a solidified roster around you in your fantasy drafts, he would be the perfect complement to that because he's going to be getting a lot of goal line touches over there.
Big facts, man. I think Raheem Mostert is one of the guys I'm looking at like, why is he going this slow? It's just, I think people are just tired of the name, man. They're all expecting A-Chain to just take over this big workload. And Raheem Mostert, I think he's locked in for a very similar role as he had last year, bro. So I'm with you. I think disrespectful to the age. They say he's 32 this year, bro. He put up the numbers. He was 31 last year. He was still old.
That's what I'm talking about, man. He may be a little long in the tooth, but I'm telling you, he got legs like a 25-year-old.
Facts. Well, another player that's getting older and starting to fall into this old name that I'm higher on than consensus is Joe Mixon. I will, for the life of me, I can't understand why Joe Mixon continues to fall into this RB2 land. We do this every single year, and every single year, Joe Mixon finishes in the top 10. His last 5 years that he's been healthy, the last 5 years, been the RB6, RB10, RB14, RB13, RB10, and he's going right now as the RB15 in a better situation. We did the exact same thing last year, P, and he was in Cincinnati with Jamar Chase and with T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow's going to throw for a lot. But guess what? He's in the same situation with C.J. Stroud and Nico and Stephon Diggs. It makes the game easier for quarterbacks. It makes the game easier for running backs. It makes the game easier for the offense. The team's already talked about giving him a heavy workload ahead of this season. And if you know Joe Mixon, he's already had a really heavy workload over his career. So for him to say that, the team to be saying this, that means it's going to be amplified even more. If we get Joe Mixon with 300 to 350 touches, he's going to smash RB15 ADP all day long. And you can get this guy in the third, the fourth round for whatever reason. People are fading him. RB15 right now. He was the RB6 last season. I don't get it, man. And to be honest, like I said, I think we're just all expecting this downturn in production. Give me Joe Mixon at his ADP, man. One of my favorite players to draft, especially because he's going to RB15 land. I'll get him in the third round of 12-team leagues all day long.
Okay. And I like his situation out there in Texas, man. The weather's going to be good. It seems like, bro, it just feels like it's a good fit for him. Maybe even just culturally, bro. Like, it seems like it's a vibe over there. I mean, a lot of those guys over there are out to have fun, put up numbers, and win a lot of games. So
you mentioned, man, plays indoors. Like Joe Mixon, they play indoors. It's going to be easier schedule, like in the AFC South. So
yeah,
there's a lot of factors leading into that. But what about a running back that you're lower on than consensus? Right? Obviously, there's a lot of hype around this time of year around a lot of running backs. Give me a running back that you're lower on than consensus.
Yo, man, I'm a ruffle some feathers here, bro. But the running back I'm lower on than consensus is, come a little closer, Breece Hall. Yeah, that's right. I said it, man. I said it, bro.
No way.
He's good. Yo, the RB2, the RB number 2. Right now, Fantasy Pros got him as obviously the 5th overall rated player. In an RB, look, this isn't against his talent. The dude is obviously talented. But what I think is inflating his value is the fact that if you look at the Jets last year, they didn't have a quarterback, right? They had Zach Wilson. And so if you got Zach Wilson throwing you the ball, you don't have any wide receiver. So you're really the only weapon. He benefited from that by all of those dump offs that he got. And he's basically just the offense. That's their only game plan on offense is when you got Zach Wilson, it's like, let's give Breece Hall all the work he can handle and then some. Well, now this year you got Aaron Rodgers healthy, praying that he stays healthy. But one thing about Aaron Rodgers, one thing he's going to do is he's going to spread that rock around. But more importantly, in that red zone, he's going to pepper his number 1 wide receiver. What does that mean for Breece Hall? Right? Breece Hall's not just this check down god anymore with Aaron Rodgers being there and Aaron Rodgers staying healthy. Aaron Rodgers is going to get his numbers. Aaron Rodgers is, multi-MVP for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, just the way that the entire offense is going to be played with Breece Hall taking a step back to Aaron Rodgers and the Garrett Wilson show, I still think he's high. I still think he's good. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. But if you got to take him as the RB2 per Fantasy Pros, miss me with that, bro.
Not to mention they did draft a running back, Braylon Allen, who's pretty good in this thing. So, and he's a bruiser too. We're going to find out a lot about him. So I've been talking a lot about how I like Bijan over Breece, and you spoke to a lot of the same points. You got Trevor Siemian checking it down the last 3 weeks of the year. He's getting 10 targets a game. I don't think we're getting that out of Aaron Rodgers.
No, sir.
All right, running back that I'm going against consensus on, and I've got this a lot over the offseason, is why are you fading Travis Etienne, Jay? Why are you fading Travis Etienne? And when I think of Travis Etienne right now, where he's going in the top 10 running backs, currently running back number 8. And I get it. Like, he performed last year. He finished, he had a strong season last year overall. And when you look at the numbers, you're like, man, he's involved in the passing game. He's involved in the run game. Doug Peterson loves him, trusts him. He was used heavily last year. But I took a deeper dive into the numbers, Pete. And this is what I do. Took a deeper dive into the numbers. It might not work to think the way that you think he did. From weeks 1 through 9 in 2022, so it's 2 years ago. In weeks 1 through 9, Travis Etienne was great. He was a mid-round pick, averaged 14.3 fantasy points. From weeks 10 through 18, he averaged 9.6, a 5-point drop-off in the second half of the year. Maybe that's a one-time occurrence. Maybe it's not. He's a smaller back. Let's take a look at 2023. 2023, weeks 1 through 9. Travis Etienne, my goodness, 20.5 fantasy points per game in PPR leagues. In weeks 10 through 18, 13.2, a 7-point drop off. Sometimes we can find value in the numbers, and right now the numbers are speaking. Travis Etienne gets worn down the second half of the year. There's no other way to say it. His frame doesn't hold up. He can't take on that kind of workload. And there's a reason that Doug Peterson this offseason has said, you know what? We got to reduce Travis Etienne's workload. He's come out and said that. We want to get Tank Bigsby more involved. In order to do that, Travis Etienne has to be on the field less. He has to see the ball more. And I'm concerned at his running back 8 ADP that he's not going to live up to expectations. I like the back, hate the draft spot. I am fading Travis Etienne at his current ADP of top 10 running back. I got him more so as a high-end RB2.
Yeah, it is telling when it seems like 2 consecutive years now the head coach is looking to find somebody who's more of a traditional running back, and the fact that he's wearing down in the second half, not necessarily wearing down, but his workload is tailing off.
He's wearing down.
Telltale sign, my dude. Telltale sign, bro.
It is what it is, bro. They can't all, you know what I'm saying? They can't all be built for it.